have 10 minutes before we fire the 12 o'clock gun in Cape Town. And first, I want to say good morning and also welcome to you, to us, the South African Navy, who's been responsible for the firing of the gun here at 12 o'clock. So just a little bit of history about the cannons, why we're firing the cannons, and then we will have to move away. So if I run, then we all have to start going. So just watch me. So the two cannons that we use, they are 220 years old already. They were cast in 1794 in Woolwich in England. And the very first British occupation to Cape Town, they brought in these two as their subs cannons, and ever since we use them as the time guns in Cape Town. And we could trace them back to 1794. The crest of George Rex is still very visible on the gun. GR for George Rex, the British crown is still here. On the engravings, the WCO, that stands for Walker and Company, that cast them in the Woolwich Arsenal. And that was basically how we could trace them back to 1794, cast in Woolwich in England. Most probably you've also noticed on the white wall below us, there's a number display on the board. I'm not sure, 65,552. 65,552. And that will bring us to the amount of times today that this two cannons has been fired since February 1806 already. So that's how long the tradition goes on. So for over 208 years, that the very same cannons fired in Cape Town. And I'm sure you will ask me then, why do you fire the gun for that many years in Cape Town? But I first want to assure you that I don't fire the cannon that long. I'm not so old. I'm a little bit grey and bald. But in any case, it's a very long history and tradition. And I'm sure you will ask me then, why? And basically, your answer lies in, as people were traveling in the olden days, and the main means of transport during those years was sailing. And people sailed all over the world, sailed around Cape Town. And because of that very bad Cape of Storms weathers, or the notorious bad weathers, the Cape of Storms weathers, and as the ships then came around Cape Town, it was then the high seas, the big winds and the swells in the open ocean, that the smaller ships and yachts, they were physically running away from these bad elements, and they carry on sailing. And eventually then, they carry on sailing and they land up here in our nice cozy Table Bay. And they couldn't carry on sailing anymore. And they lay here, waiting for the weathers to become better. They start to lose out on time. Most probably a day, 2, 3, most probably a week. After that, they have to correct time, because sailing and time goes hand in hand. Now they run out of time. And we must also take into consideration, in the olden days, the sailors, they never had these nice navigational systems as we have today. We've got these nice GPS systems on each and every cell phone. I've got a friend in Simonstown. He said he moves around just on his cell phone's GPS system. So you can go wherever you are today. But the sailors, they physically had to look at the positions of the sun, the moon, the stars, and go to the not so accurate maps that they had for the longitude to plot their position. And Cape Town was then run by the British. It is then that the gun was fired up on the slopes of Signal Hill to tell the sailors, now it is 12 o'clock in Cape Town. And they could then reset their watches, the ship's chronometers and clocks to the 12 o'clock time in Cape Town. And that is basically where it all starts, this naval tradition, specifically for those sailors. And then later, down at our waterfront, then also came the ball at the clock tower, which was dropped also every day at 12 o'clock. That was also for the sailors that was inside the bay. They could hear the ball drop, the guns then for those that were laying outside. They could see the puff of smoke, as you will notice today, that you can set your watch to 12 o'clock time. And that is basically where it all starts. But also, during the First World War, and Cape Town still run by the British, it is then that the mayor of then, Sir Harry Hans, he also every day at 12 o'clock introduced a 2 minutes of silence, where at 12 o'clock, the gunfire, the sailors set their clocks, that everything in Cape Town then must come to an halt and stand still. And people had to pay a mark of respect to those who lost their lives during that First World War and later Second World War. So whatever you were busy with at 12 o'clock, you physically had to stop, commemorate that 2 minutes of silence, and then you can carry on with what you were busy with. So that is basically why we as the South African Navy with Cape Town City Council, they carry the SCOS, because it's such an old tradition to them. It's also the oldest muzzle loading guns in the world that is still in daily use. in Edinburgh in Scotland, in Hong Kong, in Halifax in Canada, Singapore, the island of Malta, Sydney, Australia. A gun has also still been fired for whatever reasons. But our cannons has never ever been changed. It's always been just 220-year-old. So that's basically why you most probably here today to come view the oldest guns in the world that's still in daily use. So that is basically a little history about the cannons. So there was nothing bad about it. We didn't kill people, we didn't blow down buildings or houses. So I hope the tradition will still carry on for another 200 years. So that is basically the history of the gun. Coming back to the firing of the gun, how do I fire the gun? Most probably you've noticed by now, I just have a yellow watch. It's not an expensive watch. In Cape Town, I bought it at the flea market, so I call it a stallchi watch, as we in Cape Town would say. I bought it at the stalls, so but my watch is quite accurate. I've checked already, and that is because of these lines. And these lines nowadays, these Telkom lines, will links us up to the Royal Astronomical Observatory to fire exactly at 12. And that is why on days like these, I can't fire the gun at 11 o'clock and lay at the beach and people at 12 o'clock in Cape Town. No, we are linked to the observatory, so they give us the exact time that we can fire exactly. So inside we also have a clock where I can set my watch every day before I come up here to give you the time. And the only time that we will be about late is because we load both cannons, but we only fire one. Just in case we have a misfire, specifically during rainy seasons, because your gunpowder is wet, and then we will have to change over 1 to 3 seconds, most probably for the latest, and we will be able to fire after 12. But if the first gun goes, it's exactly at 12. We still have 3 minutes to go. I will just load the cannon now, and then we can stand clear. Okay. Basically, this is then what makes the big bang in Cape Town. 1.5 kilograms of black powder. And I will load the powder into the black powder into that gun, but we will fire this one. And that is not magic. Gunpowder gets in, loaded, and comes down into this gun. It's just, as I said, we load both cannons, and we only fire one. So this one stands over now. Since Saturday, the gunpowder bag is still inside, so we will fire this one will be on standby, and tomorrow we'll fire this one. So both of them is in working condition, so should we can alternate between the 2 guns every day. And then once this is loaded into the gun, next to this is these little igniters or the primers. This then physically comes in the fuse blocks. That will be closed up, and then I will stand clear. The time signal now comes via these cables into this firing pin. That in turn strikes this percussion cap and gives us the flame to set the 1.5 kilogram powder. So that is basically how it works. Okay, then we have 2 minutes. This is the gun. Loaded. This is now the gun that will fire today, this side one. Okay, if you can just move a little bit back, I'll also join you. I'm going to put this now and I'll join you. Now. Papa, mommy, good.